Ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited Premier League prediction video. Am I doing this a week late? Yes. Is it probably way too late for this type of video? Yes. But I'm still gonna do it anyways. Y'all know last year I did some weird ass setup where I used some TikTok filter. Nah. We're gonna go through a coordinated list this time. So how this will go is I'm gonna be starting from 20th going all the way to 1st, explaining why every single Premier League team is gonna finish there. And my goal for this video is to get at least more correct predictions than I did in my last one. But before we get into these predictions, I gotta let you guys know that we're on the road to 10K subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I'd really appreciate it. And to the guy that commented that he's joining the journey, this is not Toby World, bro. You got the wrong black football YouTuber. Going into the number 20 spot, I've got Burnley. Now, I don't really know a lot about Burnley, but I've seen that they made a couple decent signings. They've brought in the likes of Ugo Chukwu and Broha from Chelsea, while also getting Marcus Edwards from Sporting. I remember him cooking Tottenham in the Champions League a couple years ago. And the big one, Kyle Walker. I was just joking. That's not big at all. Signing Kyle Walker in 2025, they need to be relegated immediately. You guys know Burnley. They're a yo-yo club between Premier League and the Championship. They were here a couple years ago, but they finished rock bottom. And can someone explain to me how Vincent Kompany deadass relegated a whole team and got a move to Bayern Munich? To be fair, Bayern also bought 40-year-old Mane and 28-year-old Luis Diaz for 75 million. So I don't think that their board of directors really got a lot going on upstairs. Speaking of Luis Diaz, Bayern fans are already tired of him. I try to warn you, Bayern fans, enjoy the meaningless dribbles he's gonna give you and the 3GA in the next 3 months. But back on Burnley here, they won the Championship in 2023, got promoted to the Premier and immediately finished rock bottom. And I think they're gonna do the exact same thing this season. And also, we haven't had a newly promoted team actually stay up since 22-23, where all three stayed up, which is why I'm putting Leeds United in 19th. I don't know nothing about Leeds. I didn't really watch them a lot in the Championship, being so honest. And the only Leeds player I've kind of heard of is Anton Stash, but he's a defensive midfielder. He ain't really gonna do much. Like, he's gonna hold down the midfield, but scoring goals and defending, I don't really know who's gonna do that. They also signed Sean Longstaff from Newcastle, but again, I don't know how much it's gonna help. Leeds were also in the Premier League a couple years ago, but they went right back down with everyone else. And I've mentioned this already, but no team has stayed up in the Premier League since the 22-23 season, which is why I'm gonna put Wolves in 18th. Now, Wolves finished 16th the year before, but now that they lost Nuri, Cunha, and Semedo, I don't know how well they'll do. They made Strand Larson a permanent signing, and they signed Andre last year as well, but I don't really rate them like that. And if the 3 relegated teams from last year locked in for a second, Wolves wouldn't be here at all. In 17th, I've got Sunderland, and I would have usually put them in the bottom 3 with the new promoted teams, but the amount of signings they made is crazy. They spent around 150 million euros. They brought in the likes of Adingra, Granit Xhaka, and Mark Gui. And with the amount of money they spend, they have to stay up. They have no excuse not to. Y'all remember when Nottingham Forest spent a lot of money a couple years ago and they stayed up? Sunderland need to do the same this year. And I'm telling y'all, them tie-and-wear derbies are gonna be peak. In terms of quality, they're gonna be one of the worst football matches, but we all know someone's getting two-footed. Moving on to 16th, I've got Brentford, and I think they're gonna fall off massively. They lost in Bournemouth to Manchester United, we know that, but that's not good enough of a reason to have them 16th. They lost Ivan Toney the year before that and they finished 10th. But not only did they lose Brian Mbeumo, they also lost Thomas Frank, and I think it was Thomas Frank that had them play so well last year and getting them that 10th finish. But now they've lost Thomas Frank and I've never heard of their new manager before, I think they're gonna have a massive drop off. They've signed Kelleher from Liverpool, but it looks like Weiss is on his way to Newcastle as well. And I don't know if Brentford have it in them, man. And if it wasn't for Wolves, I would have probably put them in that 18th position. Moving on to 15th though, we got Fulham. And Fulham have made no signings that I've known of so far in this window. Last year they finished 11th and they've not upgraded whatsoever. So I think they're gonna hold 15th position. And before the Fulham fans talk about, oh, we beat Liverpool last year, they're not really gonna help you this year, is it? If they made a couple signings, I would have put them higher. But so far I can't put them ahead of any of the teams I got coming next. 14th, I've got Brighton and Hove Albion. Now Brighton have made a couple decent signings. Maxim de Kuyper for the left back position and Kostulas, if I'm mistaking this name, my bad. But it looks like they're gonna be losing Baleba, and I'm pretty sure they've already lost Evan Ferguson as well. And them losing Adingra as well, they're not really addressing those positions I've seen. They've sold Estupiñán, Adingra, even Joao Pedro to Chelsea. I think next season depends on Brighton's recruitment team. If they do well, then Brighton will do well. And in 13th place, I've got Bournemouth. Bournemouth. They got absolutely raided this year. They lost Barney to PSG, Dean Huijsen to Real Madrid, and Milos Kerkez to Liverpool. And when it comes to incomings, they've only bought Petrovic from Chelsea. And I'm telling y'all, it's not looking good for Bournemouth. They need to strengthen ASAP. Now, Andoni Areola is a really really good manager. I actually rate him and his job at Bournemouth. While next season is going to be crunched, they need to back him if they want to get anywhere near the top 10. It was crazy remembering how good that Bournemouth team was after the year turn. I was scared when we went to the Vitality Stadium. I'm pretty sure they beat City, they beat Arsenal, they beat Forest 5-0, they beat Newcastle as well. But that team was actually really good. It's unfortunate they fell off at the end of the season. 12th place, we got Crystal Palace. What else should I say? It's Crystal Palace. I was tempted in putting them in 11th, but I think they're going to reset the factory settings. 11th, I've got West Ham United, and West Ham had an awful season last year. After the amount of money they spent as well, people were talking about West Ham won the transfer window last year. All of that just to sack their manager within the first couple months into the season. They brought in Graham Potter, who hasn't really done that much. They brought in Todibo from Nice, Hermanson from Leicester, and even Callum Wilson on a free transfer. But them selling Kudus, I don't know about that. I have them improving from their position last year, but I don't really got them going near the top 10. Moving in to my top 10, we've got the Blue Scum, Everton Football Club, okay? I don't like these guys whatsoever, but I can't even hate, bro. They're actually going crazy in the transfer window, signing the likes of KDH, Thierry Berry, and Carlos Alcaraz. But the big one, Jack Grealish from Manchester City on a loan deal. This dude is a £100 million signing, a treble winner from Manchester City, and Everton somehow copped him. This is the equivalent of that one guy bagging Sniper Wolf. And their overall squad is actually not that bad. They already have Brantwaite, I think that's the name. Pickford, Peto, Ndiaye, not to mention Tarkovsky and everyone, bro. Everton actually have a really good team. And it's crazy how David Moyes is their manager and they're still playing well. Tell me why 2002 tactics are still working in big 2025. 9th, we have the Red Scum. Crazy, I got the blue and red scum right next to each other, I know. But listen, Manchester United, 15th FC as I should call them. Ruben Amorim is under the most pressure in the world right now. This guy has to deliver. He has no choice. The excuses he had last season of inheriting Ten Hag's horrible squad, some people are saying it's Ten Hag's points that actually kept Amorim up last season. They also lost the Europa League final to freaking Tottenham Hotspur of all teams. And they made some good signings, I should say, getting Cunha, getting Sesko, getting Mbuemo. If they get Baleba and replace Onana, I think they can push for a European spot. But as of right now, I don't got them higher than 9th. 8th place, I've got Nottingham Forest. I think they will regress from last season. Let's be honest. How you go from 14th to a Champions League spot is crazy. And it showed how crazy it was. They freaking burnt out last season, ended up finishing 7th. And don't say it too loud. Something shady is going on in Nottingham, man. I said in the other video, their owners, Marianko, something is off about him. Even in the season, bro, he came down to the pitch to talk to Nuno mid-game. He has to have some connections, bro. He even got Crystal Palace forced out of the Europa League. They did sign Igor Juniors from Botafogo. He's actually a really decent player. But them selling Anthony Elanga, I don't know about that move. It looks like Nadoy is going to be his replacement. I've never seen him, I'm not even going to lie. He could succeed, he could flop. I just don't know if they're better than the next team on this list, Newcastle United. Now, Newcastle is a flip of a coin for me. If they get Isak, they're getting top 5. But it looks like that they're not. It just came out that Isak never wants to play for Newcastle ever again. It got to a point where bro is literally homeless right now. He sold his home in Newcastle trying to force a move to Liverpool. Now I got two things to say about this. Firstly, if I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be going crazy. If there's any Newcastle fans watching this, don't listen to anyone that's telling you to not be mad. You have every right to be mad. I thought Trent was bad, by the way. Oh, this is crazy. Secondly, I've never ever seen my club move like this, bro. We used to have Caicedo, Lavia, Bellingham, Zubimendi, Chouameni, all of them were rejecting us. But now we're getting the best striker in the world to go homeless for a move. When Virgil said it was going to be a big summer, I didn't believe it at all. But oh, this is one of the best windows I could have ever asked for. I'll come back to this point at the end of the video though. But yeah, it's not looking good for Newcastle. I made a full-fledged video on every single player that's rejected them. And it all come to a point where they're considering signing Nicholas Jackson from Chelsea. I'm sorry, I would never wish that on any club in the world. Newcastle's midfield is one of the best in the Premier League right now. I'd even argue top 5 in the world. The physicality that those three got is outrageous. I still think that their defense is a little shaky though. But if it's Gordon, Alanga, and freaking Jackson, they're not getting top 5. I'm sorry. And I can't just put them higher than number 6, Aston Villa. They've kept mostly the same team as last season. And last season, they could have potentially gone top 4 if it wasn't for that robbery at Old Trafford. But you guys know, Unai Emery, Europa League specialist, bruh. He's won the Europa League more times than Arsenal finished 2nd. To be fair, I'd probably win the Europa League before Arsenal win any trophy. But the reason why I could have put them over these 5 is just, I think that these got a little extra to them. But don't get me wrong, Villa's still a good team. They could easily finish in the top 5. I just don't have enough confidence in them. Let me just say that. And you know what? Before I get into my top 5, let me just change the setting real quick.
The next day.
Yeah, we outside now. Did I have to do this? No. But here's the thing though. no other football YouTuber has changed the setting mid-video. I'm at my old elementary school back in like 5th grade. Like, what was that? 2016, 2017. You know what's crazy? They upgrade this shit the second I left. Why the hell does it look like they even got a freaking buddy bench, which I'm using it as stand right now? But back on to what I was saying. In 5th place, I have Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Tottenham, I'm putting a lot of faith into them this year. Realistically, I should be having them 7th or maybe even like 6th. But no, I think they're gonna get top 5 because I trust Thomas Frank. Their overall team last year was horrible because of their injuries and also Ange Postecoglou having zero tactical ideas at all. Why are you still pushing the high line gimmick when you're 17th in the Prem? It got them a trophy though, to be fair. Their overall team is actually not that bad. Vicario, Van de Ven, Romero, their fullbacks are really good as well. After missing out on Morgan Gibbs-White and Madison tearing his ACL, I'm hearing that they're after Eze from Crystal Palace. And I'm telling you, if the Gooners somehow lose a target to Tottenham Hotspur, we should revoke their Big Six license immediately. That's like Liverpool losing out a target at Everton, bro. What are we doing here? They also signed Mohamed Kudus from West Ham, which is an amazing signing. I don't know why people are hating on this. And I just personally think that they're good enough to get top 5. Moving on to my number 4 spot, and this might get controversial. I've got the Gooners. I've got Arsenal in 4th. Now, I know the safe option was putting them in 2nd, but I just don't rate their team. I'm sorry, I do not rate Arsenal this year at all. They had 2 really good seasons competing on all fronts, but last year they completely fell off. But their main target this year was revamping their forward line, and they did so by getting Victor Gyökeres from Sporting. Now, I'm not going to hate on the Gyökeres signing. He can 100% bang at Arsenal, but I really don't rate the Portuguese league like that. Like, bro, we signed Darwin Nunez from there. But the other option that they've got up front is either Martinelli, Trossard, or freaking Madueke. Now, Madueke as Saka backup is actually not bad. I don't mind that signing at all. But if he's gonna be a starting left winger, bro, pack it up this season. They ain't not winning nothing. And they could also miss out on Eze and freaking Rodrigo as well. If they sign Rodrigo and Eze, I probably would have had him competing for the league at this point. From going from Eze and Rodrigo to freaking Madueke, nah, that's one of the biggest downgrades of all time. I just don't think that they're better than the next 3 teams. One of them being Manchester City. Now, Man City, I actually had them 4th for a bit, but them now being linked to Donnarumma and actually getting rid of that scrub Ederson. Also signing the likes of Cherki, Reinders, Nuri. They do need a right back though. They do need to sign a right back. But Man City, yeah, I think they're gonna get Champions League football minimum. Their defense is still a little shaky, but their midfield, Rodri post ACL, I don't know how that's gonna work. Reinders and Cherki are good additions, I'm not gonna lie. But if they get Rodrigo, they could sneak into the top 2. But yeah, I don't think that they're signing Rodrigo personally, which is why I have them in 3rd. And I don't think that they're better than number 2, Chelsea Football Club. I really rate Chelsea. I think they're going to be the strongest team after Liverpool in the Prem next year. I mean, just look at their overall team. I think their biggest weak point is probably their goalkeeper and center back. But other than that, they got one of the best fullback pairings in the Premier League. Their midfield is absolutely rock solid with Caicedo, Enzo, and even Xavi Simons apparently. But now that they don't have to play Nicholas Jackson every week, I think that they can mount a top 2 push. Pedro Neto is not that bad, and I actually think Enzo Maresca is a good manager. They also got freaking Estevao just chilling on the bench as well. Let's not forget that. But yeah, I still think that they touch the number 1 team in the Premier League, Liverpool. Now, you can call me biased, but I still don't think anyone comes near us. I don't think we're going to walk the league, but I think there's going to be minimum 8-point difference between us and Chelsea. Because we completely walked the league last year, and this summer, we're actually addressing every single position we need. Trent is gone, we got Frimpong. Andrew Robertson is washed, we got Kirkez. Darwin Nunez and Diaz are ass, we got Ekitike, and we're potentially getting Isak. We need a creative midfielder, we got freaking Florian Wirtz. Oh, we only have 2 center backs, we're getting Guehi and freaking Leone as well. Like, bro, I've never seen Liverpool move like this in the transfer window ever. Now, I know it's boring putting us as Prem wingers, but I don't care. It's my team. And I just think that we're too good in general. That's just me, though. Yeah, but those were just my Premier League predictions. I'm hoping that I at least get 5 correct positions this year. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video, though. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 10K subs. Like the video if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day, people.